Hey everyone, I'm so excited to chat with you today a little bit about retention and how do we keep people in our lives? How do we keep people at work? How do we create a culture of people that they just love being with us? Because right now the unemployment rate is so low that most people that want to work have a job. And a lot of people that have a job, other headhunters are trying to steal them away. Today I have 50 reasons why you need to listen to this podcast, because I'm telling you, it will change the view you have on the way you treat people and the value you bring every day. Welcome to the next 24 hours, where I'm going to give you real information you can really use to transform your life and work one day at a time. I'll be your host, Curtis Zimmerman. Well, hello everyone. I am so excited to spend a little time with you today. I'm also very excited to talk about a recent conference I attended. So prior to my speeches, what happens is I get on the phone and I talk to all of the powers that be about what they want to do at the conference, how they want to impact their people. And the biggest thing is, what's the takeaway? What do you want them to do after the conference differently in their life, in their relationships, with their self-development, something at work we want to change, want to encourage them to do more of. And so I'm on that call, and sure enough, they have an amazing idea. You see, it's their 50th anniversary, and this is basically a franchise owner of a very large brand. If I told you, you'd know who I was talking about, Golden Arches. So I was going to this conference to speak, and this particular person owns over 60 of these particular restaurants. And excited to go in and talk to his folks. A very different culture. This particular brand has a huge turnover problem. Like most fast food restaurants, they have a turnover problem. I would say, it's between 130 and 140%. So that's kind of huge. And this particular family-owned franchise with 60 restaurants doesn't really have that problem like everyone else, at least not to those numbers, that's for sure. And prior to my speech, I asked people to raise their hand. And those of you that have been for 5 years, those of you in 10 years, those of you in 15 years, and 20 years. And it was astounding how many people in the room had actually worked in this particular organization for 15 to 20 years. It was crazy. So very excited about being part of their celebration and coming back for the second year. And so they wanted me to do something a little bit differently. I did Life at Performance Level the first time, and this time I was going to come and talk more about change management and talk more about the magic of leadership, which is another kind of program that I speak on. But the point of this conversation today is what they brought to the table, and it was awesome. So here's the story. Here's what we're thinking, Curtis. We're very excited about having you come and do your speech, but we're thinking prior to you starting, we're going to surprise everyone. We want to really kick off the conference with something exciting. So here's our idea. We're going to say it's our 50th anniversary, and in order to celebrate that, everyone's going to be sitting in rounds, like 8 to 10 people in rounds. And so to celebrate that today, what we've decided to do is, yes, underneath somebody's seat in every single group of rounds, there is an envelope. Everyone look under your seat right now. Everyone will look under their seat, and then they're going to look in the envelope, and it's a $50 bill. So there's like 200 people at this conference, and every single table is going to get a $50 bill. So you can do the math on that. I was like, wow, that's awesome. They said, no, we're not done, Curtis. What we're going to do then is we're going to highlight different aspects of the people at the table. So we're going to say, it's really great that whoever sat at a certain seat randomly got $50. That's awesome. But we're not about that. You see, it's not random that you're in the room today. Actually, you're here on purpose. And we're very excited you're part of our family. And so really what we want to do is we want to take the person at the table that's been with us the longest. So discuss right now amongst yourselves who's worked with us the longest. And whoever that is, we want to celebrate their dedication. We want to celebrate their hard work. So we want you to hand them that $50 bill. And I was like, whoa, Do you think the person that wanted to begin with is going to be a little bummed out? I mean, they just were like, yeah, I got $50. Oh, I got to give it to that lady. Oh, they said, no, it's okay because it's not going to end there. Then we're going to do, let's see, who had the fastest drive-through times at their restaurant last year. They keep track of all this stuff. And whoever that is, even though we're so excited that you're a dedicated employee and you've been here with us forever and you still rock and roll every day, we have to say that one of our biggest challenges we're facing next year is increasing those drive-through times. So we want to celebrate that person and we want to give them that $50 bill. So they did that. And then they had other criteria like who had the fewest people leave their restaurant. So when, they're always hiring different people, and who had the least amount of attrition over the year. Well, they know who that is at the table, and then they pass the $50 bill to them. And then who would you say has the craziest, best customer service? And you can just tell by being at the table, this person is a firecracker. Whoever that is at the table, you all know who it is. Come on, you all know each other. Give that person the $50 bill because we're all about customer service here, right? And then, of course, the last one we have to say is, of all the restaurants that are sitting at your table, which one had the biggest profit margin? Who made the most, or what restaurant generated the most? And they discussed that, and we're going to give it to them because, no margin, no mission. You can't, it's great to have a mission, but you got to have a margin. It's still a business after all. So we're going to celebrate them. They said, here's the bottom line. We've been in business now for 50 years. And the reason we're still successful, and the reason we still are passionate, and the reason that we still love our customers and love our product is because we love you. And every single one of you at every single table brings something different. So we're actually going to walk around the room now with giant envelopes, because we're giving every single one of you a $50 bill to help celebrate our 50th anniversary. Because you all bring different things and it's all valuable. And we want every one of you to know how much we love and appreciate you working with us. Wow. Man, my mind was blown. I was like, okay, so the woman that's coming with that, she's going to have like a guard with her that day as she's walking around with all this cash. So they did that, and it was awesome, and people were blown away. And the coolest thing was what was added to that, and it was what we'd love for you to do now is take that $50 and then let us know how you spent it. Let us know what you did with it. Let us know how you took that and gave it to somebody that is in your family right now that had a car problem. Or let us know how you gave that to your brother who's having some issues right now and needs gas money because he's going off to college. Let us know how you took that and put it toward your phone bill. Let us know how you took that, and whatever you did with it, do us a favor. All we ask in return is tell us the story of how what we gave, how you gave it away, and how you moved it forward, moving on. Because we're all about the value, but we're also about how we take that value and then make the world a better place with that value. And I was like, wow, that is strong. That is really strong. And what I told them I was going to do is, and I used to do this more years ago. I hadn't done it in a while, but I would have $2 or $3, $4, $5, and I'd have it all like wadded up in my pocket. And it's like I always carry a 50-cent piece in my pocket because I never know when I'm going to need to break out into some magic tricks in my real life. I know, totally crazy, but totally true. I used to do the same thing with $2 or $3 $1 bills. I'd crunch them up and I would just kind of, put them in a little wad and I'd have them in my pocket. And then when I was out and about, especially when I worked amusement parks, because there are always tons of kids at amusement parks and, they're like, Mom, can I have an ice cream? Mom, can I have they're always wanting something. And they're not, generally inexpensive at amusement parks. So I used to love to just go up behind those kids when the mom was like, well, we've got $20 to $8 to get in. And with it, and going through that whole routine. And I would just kind of swing by and toss $2 or $3 behind them. And then I would just tap them and go, hey, I think you dropped something. And then I would just keep going. And I thought, wow, I haven't done that forever, but I'm going to take this $50 bill. And what I'd like to do is just get a bunch of fives. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to just, whenever I think it would be cool, somebody's getting gas or I'm at this grocery or whatever, just toss it behind people and then just walk away and see what happens. And maybe I can have one of my kids videotape one or two times and I can actually capture that and share it back with them. So that's what I told them I was going to do. And to be honest with you, I got home, I got busy, I have the $50 bill still. So there I am, just living my life like everybody else. I'm actually in Walmart. And while I'm in Walmart, there's this family. It's a young lady and two kids, maybe between the ages of, 5 and 8. And there are there are three of them, and they're getting something in Walmart, and it's at the self-checkout. And so I'm standing back and I have the things I'm getting for a project I'm doing. And sure enough, I look over and the mom's going through her purse and the kids are looking in their pockets. And for whatever reason, they're short. It looks like a few dollars for whatever it is they already scanned. So the mom's like, oh, let me run out to the car and let me dig around. And I think that, we may have some change or whatever. Let me just go and do that. The mom leaves, and that leaves this little 8-year-old little girl standing there and kind of waiting for her mom to go way out in the parking lot. Think about Walmart. It's like, you can't see the end of Walmart due to the curvature of the earth, right? So it's a big place, and she's going to go all the way to the car and all the way back. So the kid's just standing there, and I can tell very uncomfortable because there are other people waiting in line. You can picture it in your mind. I go, oh, this is the perfect opportunity. I get to do the throw the dollar thing, like I said, to the folks that gave me the $50. So I did. I got out a few dollars and I crumpled them up and I threw them behind this little girl. And then I got my bags together. And as I walked past, I just tapped her on the shoulder and said, oh, I think you dropped something. It looks like you dropped something. And she looked at me and she looked at the money and she looked at me and then she just smiled. And I just smiled at her and I just walked off. And then I saw her go and take the dollar bills and stand there for a second. And then I could see her going, oh, well, now I don't have to wait for mom. I can just put these in the machine and I'm golden. So sure enough, when I was leaving, the last thing I saw was her feeding the dollar bills into the self-checkout. And then I'm getting in my car and, I'm already listening to music and I'm already in another world. And as I'm driving out, I see the little girl in the parking lot with her mom. And I'm, she's kind of, has a tear in her eye. And the mom's like, what happened? Where did this come from? How did you do this? And I could hear her say, some man threw this money behind me. And the mom was like in shock and was like, oh my gosh, well, who was it? Who was it? And obviously I just drove on and she didn't see me or anything. But I just had to tell that story because it really has nothing to do with me. What the story has to do with is this huge organization and this family that really values people in a whole nother state had a conference, gave things away, really cared about their people, and then all the way in another state, all the way in Little Mason, Ohio, 3 weeks later, there's a kid in a parking lot crying over $3, and I didn't give it to her. The organization and the people that put on that conference gave it to her. And I just share that with you today because I really want you to think about the ripple effects that you can have in your own life, the ripple effects that a great organization can have on humanity and people they're never going to meet. Now, I know some people are saying, Curtis, so what? $3, who cares? Hey, when you don't have $3, $3 is $3, all right? And I've been in my life before when I didn't have $3, and I would have loved for somebody to throw a $5 behind me, believe me. So what's so funny to me is that story is awesome, and they created that action in me, and they made me think about something I hadn't done in years. But I want to go all the way back to the beginning, because in the beginning, I was talking about this company that is basically a franchise owner, and this person and his family, I think it's second generation now, has made a choice how they're going to treat their people. Their retention rate is so high and people love to work for them. And I have to be honest with you, it's a conscious choice that they're making. And what's so funny to me is the name of the company might have to be beeped out. I'm going to have to get their permission, but it's called the Courtesy Company. And what's so funny to me is that think about when it started 50 years ago, the family standing around, and maybe they own 2 or 3 restaurants, and they're saying, well, we're going to have to get ourselves an organization that's going to help us run if we get more and more restaurants one day. What do we want to call that? Do we want to call it the Profit Center? No. What our values are and our morals, ethics, and value-based decision-making is all about courtesy. And it's all about being courteous to one another behind the counter, and of course, being courteous to the people that come to the front of the counter. And I have to let you know that they sell something called a value meal. And this particular organization, it's a value person. So it's not about the value meal, it's about the value person. They value every single employee so much so that they stay with them for years and years. So when people ask me, Curtis, how do we have our people stay around? What can we do? Because, for $10 a week more, this person that's worked with us for 9 years is going to work with the guy down the street. How can we have that stop? I just told you. Treat every single person, as the old saying goes, as you want to be treated, but also let them know every day how much you value them. And let them know that without them, we would not be the company, we would not be the organization. And even though they're very different from you, that you value every single ingredient that they bring to the table in order for us to all have a real value together. All right, now we have to drill down just a little bit deeper to value. And this is something I've been doing for years, literally probably 15 years or more. Now, I don't do it on the stage anymore, but when I first started as a speaker, I used to do this demonstration. And lately, it's actually come out in some videos, and some other speakers are doing it, and it's been around forever. I didn't invent it, but I really think it plays really well to our conversation today. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know, I did share this at the conference that I spoke with the $50 bill. And I'm going to do it right now. So let me just get in my wallet here. All right. So I have a $20 bill in my hand right now. And here's what I want you to think about as I go through this exercise right now. I want you to think that you and I are sitting and we're at a conference and you're in the very front row and I have this $20 bill. And I'm going to ask you this question. Hey, I have this $20 bill. Who would like the $20? Raise your hand. First person with a hand up. Come on. Who wants, you do. Who wants a $20 bill? Excellent. Okay. So your hand just flew up. That's awesome. Then what I do is I take that $20 bill. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but I just kind of, I throw it on the floor. And I stomp on it. And I'm just totally, now it's in a tiny little ball. All right. Now I'm opening it back up. Kind of smooth that out a little bit. All right. Now, remember, you're in the front row. Raise your hand. Who wants this $20 bill? It's a nice $20 bill. Who'd like? You still want it? Okay, excellent. All right, let me just do this. I hate you. I hate you. You're never going to be a 50. You're only $20. Deal with it. Okay, who would like this $20 bill? I have it right here. Look. Ooh, beautiful. Who would like? Oh, you still want the? So what's the point of this little activity I just did? So the point is, even though I physically abused this $20 bill, guess what? It still had value. It's still worth $20. And you, a total stranger, still wanted it. And then I don't know if you heard, but I physically, I was crumpling it up, but it didn't matter. You wanted it. But then I went ahead and I verbally abused it. And I screamed at it. I told it, it's never going to be a 50, you're only $20. Do it. And then I said, who wants this? And it still had value. And I want you to hear this right now. If you've never heard this little exercise before, you are so much more valuable than any $1,000 bill. And I'm so sorry about whatever's happened in your past. You may have been physically abused in your life. You may have been emotionally abused. You may have been verbally just ripped apart in your life. But I need for you today to look at yourself in the mirror and think about who you are today. and realize the value proposition that you have. Realize how much value you have as a human being, as a person. And there are millions of people right now in the audience of your life that would love to spend time with you. Don't be afraid to let that go and look at the true value that you bring every single day. Well, it's time for my favorite part of this podcast, and it's the part that makes it a little different than all the other podcasts. And of course, that is the 24-hour challenge. At the end of every podcast, we come to you with something specifically I want you to do in the next 24 hours. So here it is. Listen up. I want you to invest $20 in your fellow man. Yes, that's right. I want you to take $20, skip Starbucks twice this week, take that $20 and get 4 $5 bills. That's right. I want you to take those $4 bills and I want you to fold them in half and I want you to put them in your left pocket and just have them in there. Then in the next 24 hours, I want you to go out into that, I know it's scary, that big world out there we live in. I want you to go out into that world and I want you to take those 4 $5 bills and I want you to just drop them. I want you to drop them next to somebody's car. I want you to drop them behind somebody at the grocery store. I want you to drop them. And then I want you to just keep on walking. And then I want you to spin around and I want you to just watch the person's reaction that picks it up and finds it. And after that, this is the biggest challenge of all. Get ready. After that, I want you to go to Curtis Zimmerman, curtis@curtiszimmerman.com. That's my email, curtis@curtiszimmerman.com. And I want you to just give me a paragraph of how it felt, of releasing $20 of your own money and giving it away. How did that feel? Also, I want you to just tell me, what was the reaction? Did some people go, oh, $5, and they go up to the front counter and then say, somebody lost $5, so I want to give it back? Did they put their foot on it and look around to make sure nobody was looking and then lean down like they're tying their shoe and pick it up real carefully? I've actually seen people do that before. Like they're being really sneaky. Like, oh, look, $5. And they put their foot on it and they're like, I'm just tying my shoe. Nothing to see here. And then they take it and put it in their pocket like, they just robbed a bank. It's hysterical. So tell me what experience you had by doing it. Email me. And if you do that, I'm going to read through the first 10 emails. I'm going to read through those. I'm going to pick one of those 10 people and I'm going to give them what I call a VIP call. And so I do these things called VIP days. That's where people come and they come to my office or they come and meet me at an exotic location when I'm speaking somewhere. And we hang out for a whole day together and we do a VIP day. And that's where we talk through what are your challenges and what are your goals and what do you want in life? And, just kind of help people focus. I do this with big organizations and I also do it with people. So I'm going to give a free, absolutely free 30-minute VIP call. And in that 30 minutes, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about your goals and your dreams and what you'd like to do. And we'll just have some time together. I love doing that. I can't do it all the time. I can't do it for everybody, but I'm going to pick one person. We're going to get on the phone together and spend 30 minutes together for whoever gives me the best story. Now listen, remember, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a normal podcast. You have 24 hours to go give away $20 and then let me know about it. Get out there. Keep living the dream. So great to spend time with you again. Hey, thank you for listening to the next 24 hours. It would mean a lot to me if you found this content today valuable, that you share it with your friends. Leave me a review. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to learn more about what I do, it's really simple. Just go to curtiszimmerman.com. Remember, in order to live the dream, you have to make the next 24 hours count. The clock is ticking.